Color is the foundation of great design. It can settle a building into its landscape. It can make an unattractive structural detail just disappear, and it can change your mood in a room instantly. Welcome to Let's Talk Color. I'm Amy Crane, architectural color consultant at Amy Crane Color. I'm a color expert and use color to transform spaces and products from the ordinary to the sublime. As a paint color specialist, realtor, and design writer, I've got my finger on the pulse of what's happening in the world of color. In each episode, I'll reveal best practices for choosing color by introducing you to masters of color for the built world. So throw out those paint chips taped to your walls and let's get started. Maye Ruiz is an interior designer, creative director of Maye Estudio, and one of the designers selected for the AD100 Mexico and Latin America list, which recognizes the most influential designers and architects in that region. Maye has built a career spanning residential, commercial, and hospitality design, always embracing color as a powerful tool for spatial transformation. Through Maye Estudio, she and her team strive to challenge conventions using color as a language of expression and design as an experience that transforms the way we inhabit spaces. Welcome, Maye.
Hi. Thank you for having me, Amy.
So happy to have you. Maye opened her interior design studio in 2021. Was that in Mexico City?
Yes, but pretty brief because when I started my own studio, I just moved to San Miguel de Allende. So I guess my studio really opened in San Miguel de Allende.
For those who haven't been there, I just came back from there. San Miguel de Allende is a small city of about 180,000 in the center of Mexico, about 3.5 hours drive time from Mexico City. Its center is a World UNESCO site with its riverstone paved streets, which was very difficult to walk on every day, and highly colorful buildings. It's set in a landscape of semi-arid topography with cactus all around, and it's the home of 40% non-Mexicans, many of them retirees from the U.S., which makes it a very unusual place. Does practicing interior design in San Miguel differ than in Mexico City, do you think?
Yes, I think it's different because the things that inspire you are really different. And I should say, for me, this move to San Miguel de Allende were really personal, really like part of my story, because actually I am from León, which is the same state than San Miguel de Allende.
Yep.
So to me, I mean, I moved to Mexico City for almost 5 years. And, you know, when you move to one of the biggest cities in the world, your capital, like back to a small town, I think is challenging and really move your world, your entire world. San Miguel de Allende is a good opportunity for interior designers and artists because Guanajuato is a really conservative state, but San Miguel de Allende is a rare gem. It's totally different. It's like it's a small town with really deep traditions, but at the same time, it's pretty international. I mean, a lot of people from Canada and the US come here to retire, but at the same time, they are more open people more related with the world of art and design and creative people, you know. So the community here is really artistic, and I think that influence my current work totally.
Would you say more of your clients are foreign or Mexican right now?
Yeah, actually, half and half. For commercial projects like restaurants, bars, and things like that, they are more Mexicans. But for residential, all of them are foreigners.
And do you think they know about you from word of mouth or from all of the fabulous magazine exposure you've had recently? How do they know who you are?
Well, actually, I just start to design homes because I should say for the most of people it's kind of scary that someone like so colorful, color
Mhm.
driven design their places, because a lot of people are a little scared about color.
Yes. Here too. Absolutely.
Yeah. So also this rare small town helped me because um the nice thing here with houses is they are not the principal home.
Mhm.
So
Right.
it's like their second house or third house, and they
Y
don't live full time here.
right.
So they are more open to experiment with color and style and try a Mexican design. You
Mhm.
know, all I mean, right now we have Casacoa. We'll talk
Mhm.
about it.
Yeah.
But and right now we have a new client also here in San Miguel. They are foreign too, and also they are more open to color, and they both are more open to Mexican culture,
Mhm.
to experiment like this contemporary young Mexican design in their places. But I mean, they aren't their first home
House. Right.
house,
Right. Yes.
so they're more open to that.
Yeah, it sounds like the perfect opportunity to introduce people from a different culture, a northern culture that
Yeah,
is not used to that much color and that kind of color, to dip their little toe in and
yeah.
see what it's like. Absolutely. Um, One of your most memorable quotes is "Mexico is not beige." I love that. Would you say that your use of color in interiors, the number of different colors, how saturated they are, and their placement reflects a popular approach amongst interior designers in Mexico, or is it kind of more unique to you?
Okay, I think I am part of a new movement about that, because I think for a while the Mexican movement were more oriented to look like Japanese,
Mm-hmm.
and also pretty neutral,
Mm-hmm.
pretty like black and white or earthy tones. I think for years and years, all around the world, people related Mexico with earthy tones, which is true, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, not, because also for years, these folk arts,
Mm-hmm.
people thought like, okay, folk arts are more like bad taste. But I
Yeah.
mean, I put this bad taste
Y-
with
Quotes.
quote,
Quotes. Yeah.
because I don't believe it. But right now, not just me, but other designers and other artists are changing it. And I mean, I think it's a movement that started years ago, since Barragan
Of course.
or Chucho Reyes, or
Mm-hmm.
all these people that came back, the Mexican pink,
Mm-hmm.
and say, this is a super Mexican color, and also all these came from the folk arts.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think I'm part of this movement, and this movement makes sense to me,
Mm-hmm.
and say like, okay, we're not a minimalistic culture.
Culture.
we are
Yeah.
we are a culture of color,
Do you find that with at least your residential clients, you are still needing to push them to be more colorful? Um, or do you feel that once they've hired you, they kind of know where your head is and where your design intention is, and they accept it will be very colorful?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is a journey, and when I just started, I had to push more my clients because at that time I haven't a book. I haven't
Mhm,
projects to say this is what I do and this is my vision and this is what I believe. Because for
mhm,
me, color is a devotion, is like my like a faith thing, you know?
mhm. Yeah.
So at the beginning it was hard, but I think every project give me more and more this language. And
Mhm,
actually, I don't know, a few weeks ago I had an interview with a potential client, and they
mhm.
asked me like, okay, but what about color and what about neutrals? And I told them like, okay, every color have their own projects. For example, people relate me with red, and it's one of my favorite colors, and I love it. But I've
Mhm.
never say like, okay, every I want all the houses reds or all the houses are a certain color. Totally not. But I told them like, but I always look for color because this is my vision and this is my mission. So if you're thinking about a neutral project and work with me, honestly, it doesn't make sense. So
Right. Got it.
also for me, if someone is looking for me and thinking about neutral colors since the beginning, I think we're not a good match.
Mhm. Understood. How do you think starting your company right after the lockdown? I don't know exactly what months Mexico locked down during the pandemic, but if you started in 2021, we were really in the sort of beginning of the pandemic. So, how did that influence you coming back to your home state of Guanajuato and why you wanted to be close to home? And how did that affect launching your company in the middle of a pandemic?
Wow. Well, I mean, the pandemic were awful, but for me were like an awakening, like change a lot of things to me because I used to live in Mexico City, and I used to work for another firm.
Mhm.
I used to work with Andres Gutierrez. He's also pretty colorful, and I think we have similar vision and similar values for design. I
Mhm.
admire his work. But yeah, the COVID pandemic explodes in Mexico in March 2020.
Right.
And that time I still work with Andres the whole year, the whole 2020. But uh s- but in my place, and at that time my apartment were red, everything like the ceiling, like a full red apartment in the middle of the chaos. But I mean, it was a good experience being there. But also for me, it was like an awakening to answer myself and questionate, like, okay, what I want for my career. Uh, should I stay or like the song? Should I stay or should I
They
go?
were, should I go?
Yeah, and I decide that I wanted to go out for my comfort zone
Mhm.
and look for my own language because I work for Andres and with Andres for so many years that I was confused like, okay, who I am about design, who I want to say. So in the middle of the chaos, I started. I mean, my very first projects were really interesting because I was working for Andres' firm, but at the same time during COVID, I started to 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 work with people from all around the world, people in New York, people in Austin, people in Amsterdam,
How did that happen?
through Zoom and through people I met, because all that people were inside their places and they were like, Maye, help me to choose a color.
Okay.
So I had through Zoom like meetings, like consultation, like
Mm-hmm.
little projects, but it
Yep.
was really inspiring me. For example, I remember a couple in Amsterdam, a couple of women, and I recommend them like super warm colors because Netherlands is gray almost all year long,
Yeah.
and that completely changed their their experience with this lockdown. So
Mm-hmm.
change their lives in a positive way just through paint. And also in that time, I in these consultations I asked them like, okay, please um let me know where is the paint brand, because
Mm-hmm.
in the different brands it's totally
Right.
different languages.
Different.
And I am
Yeah.
familiar with Mexican brands, but not brands from the Netherlands and things like that.
Right. Right.
So I choose colors, and also I ask them links from stores there they can afford it. So
Mm-hmm.
I help them to choose furniture from different brands, even
Mm-hmm.
not expensive brands like IKEA or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a teamwork, and it was really um, um, amazing to me. And that opened my eyes to say, like, okay, maybe I'm ready to look for
Mm-hmm.
my own journey and my own language. And
Right.
I decide in 2021 start with my own office after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Two questions about that. So, if you were specifying paint colors in these other countries, did you try and get your hands on a fan deck of those paint brands? How did you pick the colors? If
Yeah, well, I pick the colors through my laptop. I mean, I yeah,
Ooh, wow.
yeah, digital way, because it's really
Yeah, that's
different.
very.
So, yeah, it was a challenge for both of us because these people had help, but at the same time they had to make proofs. Like, okay, Maye, I try with this color and doesn't work. And okay, try this,
Try this.
or these samples. But at the
Uh-huh.
end, the results were amazing. For example, in a house in Austin, like more residential house, I mean, it was a house with good taste, and everything were beige.
Right.
So it was amazing because the client doesn't change the furniture. I mean,
Mhm.
two pieces, two lamps, like little things. But the only thing she changed were the painting, and the house completely changed.
Sure. Of
And it
course.
was amazing because the people sent to me videos like
Mhm.
eating during the dinner with their guests, saying, "Thank you, Maye," or "Our place changed totally." And other thing I found during COVID lockdown, it was like it's really important to have surprises in your place. because
Okay.
at that time we spent all day long in the same house. So
Right. Right.
it's refreshing that when you get in your room, it's another color, it's another ambient, and also help you to disconnect
Mm-hmm.
from the living room or from the office, you know?
Right. Right. From your workspace. Absolutely.
And like change even if you have a really small apartment, I think it's important that the spaces help you to have different worlds and different
Mm-hmm.
little.
Yeah. Mindset.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if these were the earliest projects you did during that first
Yeah.
year, again, I ask you, how do these people find you from Amsterdam and Austin and wherever?
Yeah, these people from the very beginning, uh they find me through friends. Like, for
Okay.
example, the this woman from Austin, her daughter is my friend, and she recommend me. I mean, like
Hmm.
like
People you
people
knew.
I knew, and that's how I started. And then I I I decide in 2021 to start with my own company, and it was really curious because my very first three projects were shoe stores.
Ah, okay.
And it's funny because I am from Leon, and Leon is a shoemaker. I mean, in Leon, everything is about leather and shoes.
Do you work on more commercial or residential projects right now?
The most of my projects are commercial, not that much are residential, but I should say I enjoy more residential. And also people for commercial, it's more open to color, to experimentation, to wild things.
Right. I wanted to ask you about that. How much leeway, how much ability to really design the space the way you see it, you're usually given in a commercial project? Do the owners come to you and say, I want this vibe? Or do they say, I hate orange? I mean, how much direction do they give you?
Yeah, well, they came to me and they say like it's important, um the information they gave to us, because I mean the idea of business is important,
Hmm.
because also in commercial design you have to think about an experience
Hmm.
more than, okay, I want an orange space or I want a yellow space or etc. You have to design for a brand, you have to design for an experience,
Hmm.
because it's not the same if you design a breakfast place than a bar.
Sure. Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so you start to design with the information that the clients get give to you,
Hmm.
but at the same time, I should say a lot of clients don't have the full idea.
Okay.
So I think for them also the design process is really um helpful,
Hmm.
because a lot of questions I I I have to them, they they are like, "Oh my gosh, I don't even think about it."
Right. Right. Yep. Absolutely. It's a good way to help people who don't normally think about color refine what their thoughts are, what their desires are.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a good experience for them. I saw a photo of a bar restaurant called Carmine.
Yeah.
you designed in Mexico City, where the room was blue, red, maroon, and green. Really bright, saturated colors all together. Do you think for spaces where we spend less time than we do in our homes,
Mhm.
that it's more of an opportunity to combine strong colors and create a really powerful look? Do you tend to be more adventurous in that respect because of the short time we spend in these places?
Yes, yes. And also I think for a commercial place, I like to be bold
Mm-hmm.
because I think you need to push more. I like trends and I follow trends and I like to investigate about trends. But for example, in the last years, this trend about Japandi or
Mm-hmm.
these grayish and beige trends, to me, everything looks
Mm-hmm.
the same. You could have an spa or a restaurant or a
Mm-hmm.
hotel, and everything looks like the same.
Yeah.
So to me, these bold colors and this bold design and these bright colors, to me
Mm-hmm.
and to me and for my clients, it's an opportunity to offer to my clients.
Right. Something really exciting and different and very bold. You know that here, north of you, neutrals, even still, neutrals make up the backbone, we say, of design in most people's homes here. And it takes some pushing to get people to be at least a little adventurous to include more color in their
Mhm.
home. I feel that if a home is all neutrals, it's pretty boring. Um, but
Yeah.
I personally, when I design, I use neutrals as a rest for the eyes,
Mhm.
because otherwise having one bold, bright, saturated color right next to another can become overwhelming, at least for our sensibility here. And I find it really fascinating that you do. I've seen pictures of Casacoa, and I'm looking at you in, I guess it's your office, but that's a pretty fabulous and powerful color on your walls and your ceiling. It's kind of looks like orange from here. Um,
Mhm.
I feel that you. How often do you use neutrals in a residence? And I feel you probably use it differently than I do, or we do here. So explain to me why you would include a neutral in a more colorful home, where you would put it, how you would choose it, that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
No, I'm totally agree with you that I think design and homes and interior design in general need rhythm, need
Hmm.
pauses, need
Hmm.
different notes,
Hmm.
need need extras, but it need like characters, like a movie,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
different
Yeah.
roles, and not everybody is principal and not everybody is a statement. And I think this is
Right.
really important because yeah, we want places also for rest, not not dancing all the time, like a bar.
Right.
But
Right.
I think I start always with color, and I think I add the neutrals later to balance. For example, in Casacoa,
Okay.
the sofas are beige.
Okay.
So also, yeah, like balance with different tones, maybe just bright accents and then mix with more pale colors or not saturated colors, like yeah, balance. Also, to me it's important to balance color between bright and more neutrals.
What about wall color, though? Do you include more neutral wall colors in a house that has many powerful, bright colors, or do you keep the walls all very intense and use your neutrals maybe in tile floors or in a sofa, that kind of thing. What about the walls?
In my own experience, I think I have more like neutral furniture, and
Mm-hmm.
I like more this um like wow um effect changing the walls. So to me, I think I love bold colors, bold walls, and I think and have like more neutrals
Mm-hmm.
or more basic furniture. So yeah, I think I prefer bold walls.
Got it. Okay. Um, I read that you chose the color of the year for the paint brand Comex. Is that right?
Yeah.
I read that. And then when I was in San Miguel, I went to the Comex store and I got a fan deck.
Oh wow.
Very interesting, of course, to see the colors offered in a country whose culture is so different. Um, whereas here, more colors would be muted, softer, muted, grayed down colors. In the Comex fan deck, of course, most of the colors were clear, not muted, um, possibly more saturated color. Even if they were lighter, they were clearer, bolder colors. So so interesting to see that difference. So, how did that come about, and what color did you pick, and why?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I choose the color of the year for comics in 2020, in 2022.
Hmm.
So we choose the color of 2023.
Hmm.
And in that time, we choose a color called Molly,
Okay.
but the color were like a lilac,
Okay.
but not saturated.
Ah.
It was kind of lilac, but with a little of gray on it.
Okay.
And also, I think for trends, it's the color of the year, which is a big responsibility to name a color for a whole year. I think you have to talk about something. You have to talk about like a timeline, like something is happened in your world. In that time, we choose that color because it was a color not feminine, not masculine. It was a color to more about like flow, and it was actually like just when the world started again after a lockdown, super crazy. And also, this color talk about
Hmm.
identity.
Hmm.
And I mean, we're living these things right now. I mean, right now in the US, these all these issues about identity and the trans and the feminine, masculine. I mean, people are obsessed with right now. We love this color because it was a color that it was a good company for other colors. Actually, this color didn't try to be a
Yeah.
principal,
Yeah. Absolutely. Yep.
and it was a color like not bold, but at the same not that boring, like a rare color, because it was this kind of colors that depends how you combine it and change a lot. And yeah, it was really interesting flow, and don't and being in the middle, like a color more not binary color.
Right. A bridge to other things. Yeah.
Exactly.
Very interesting. Um, so was Casa Coa, which is a residential house, right in the smack of the center of San Miguel de Allende, was it
Yeah.
your, that ended up in Architectural Digest, right? Um, was that the project that launched your company sort of more internationally? That's how the at least U.S. magazines found out about you. Talk about Casacoa. What the challenge was, how it was to work with those clients, and how do they feel about all the press that you've gotten for it?
Yeah, I think, yeah, Casacoa is our most published project ever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the first house we made as a firm.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and yeah, actually, I didn't expect it, to be honest. And yeah, these clients found us through another project here in San Miguel called Casa Arca.
Oh, a hotel.
Uh,
I almost stayed there.
oh,
Okay.
wow, wow.
Yeah.
Well, we designed the lobby restaurant
Mm-hmm.
in the courtyard of the house.
Uh-huh.
And we designed that restaurant inspired by a Mexican kitchen.
Okay.
And I think in this project we achieved like a Mexican traditional but at the same time young design.
Mm-hmm.
So through that project, the clients from Casacoa contact us
Mm-hmm.
and say like, okay, we just buy this house, and they live in Melbourne, Australia,
Okay. Far away.
far away, far away. And they came to San Miguel de Allende, and they in love with San Miguel Allende, and they buy this house that actually it was a beautiful house, but with not personality at all.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just a big San Miguel de Allende house,
Okay.
but pretty generic.
Mm-hmm.
And they contact us and they say like, okay, we want something similar than Casa Arca,
Okay.
like Mexican traditional, but at the same time young, bold, new, and we want green color on it.
Oh, okay.
They wanted green for it. So we started with this information, and yeah, we start with greens, but then it feels like, okay, we need more warm colors. I truly believe in this locus geni
Mm-hmm.
idea,
Mm-hmm.
like the protector spirit of the place tells you
What it should
things.
be. Right.
Exactly. So yeah, because a lot of people ask me like, okay, what is your methodology
Mm-hmm.
to choose colors,
Okay.
or how do you start and things like that? And I don't know if the process is always the same,
Okay.
but I should say that a lot of the process to choose colors, it's pretty like instinct.
Mm-hmm. You see the space and you immediately know what it should be.
Yeah, I don't know if immediately.
Okay. Soon after.
Yeah, yeah, sometimes takes more time and takes more samples,
Right. Okay.
but yeah, I think that the place just talked to me and say like, no. So we started for Casacoa thinking about green, but during the process we add this also kind of rare color, because the color in Casacoa, it's like a mix between pink and brown.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a,
Yeah.
yeah, depends the lights,
Mm-hmm.
you see the color pretty different, but that help us to bring the house like a super warm experience, and also kind of like moody
Uh-huh.
or dark.
Uh-huh. Maya, was the color that color? Was it custom or a color that existed in the paint from the paint company?
No, it was a color that existing from comics actually.
Okay.
And yeah, we made a lot of proofs. And I should say, to me, it's easier to choose warm colors.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the cold colors are more difficult. Actually, for example, for the living room and for other rooms, for other green rooms, it was harder,
Mm-hmm.
and we had to make so many
Samples,
samples
right. So
to choose the
it's
prints.
not your personal natural language, those cool
No.
colors. That's right. What about the color of the exterior? I thought that was fantastic. It was also a sort of it was pink, but it was so much more than pink. Is that a color that was custom or from Comex?
No, from comics.
Also from Comex.
Yeah, actually, comics have super good colors,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the brand because, I mean, at least in Mexico, they talk about more color than just paint.
Right. Right.
And also, for a country like Mexico, which is a color culture, for a lot of people, it's difficult to choose colors.
Mm-hmm.
So comics really work with designers and artists, and try to push people to choose more colors. And
Mm-hmm.
I think this is amazing.
Yeah.
And also, for example, you know, people like graphic designers and people like that have like the Pantone and the RGB
Mm.
and
Right.
yeah, all these codes.
Right.
But for example, here in Mexico, the the color code, the comics color code, it's more friendly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I work with artisans from Oaxaca,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, okay, I want this blue, but it's like, because what blue?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, the color is not generic. So it's pretty amazing that I can talk with these people from Oaxaca or from other small towns or cities around Mexico, and we both can have the same comics.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. It's a standard language that you can all speak.
yeah. So, and for me, but the carpentry or the artisan that make rocks and things like that don't have a Pantone catalog.
Yeah. Yeah.
They go to the paint store and we talk the same language.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, this is amazing. So actually, the comics catalog here in Mexico, I think, is really important.
More important than just a paint company, because
Exactly.
it's the standard that you can all, the constant that you can all look at and talk about and design from. Absolutely.
Yeah, and not just for paint, also
Yeah.
for textiles, for
Yeah.
carpentry.
That's
Yeah.
so interesting. I've heard you say that color is about democracy. It made me think about something I tell clients all the time, which is if you're wanting to change your space and maybe your budget is limited or you're afraid to do too much, a color change is the most economical way to make the biggest impact in
Yeah.
in a space. What did you mean by color is about democracy?
Yeah, it's the same as you
Okay.
talk about. And for example, I love and I got a lot of inspiration from neighbors that are not super residential luxury neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the freedom of these people that just choose colors because they like them.
Mm-hmm.
And also, as you're saying, they don't have so much budget.
Mm-hmm.
So for them,
It's
the
everything. The change
it's
of color
everything,
is
the color.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, because also it's not, for example, it's not the same white drywall than white marble.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you choose neutrals, you have to put like expensive materials, more texture,
Mm-hmm. Good
like more
point.
statement
Yeah,
pieces,
good point. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And with color, you don't feel in a white box.
Right.
You already have a layer,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and it's not super expensive layer.
Yeah. Yeah. That really makes sense. The world is such a crazy place right now. I mean, I'm sure you follow the news and what's going on here. We're not going to get into politics, but needless to say, you know,
Yeah.
on every front. But also, I mean, it feels like a very dangerous time for so many reasons in so many countries, and at a minimum, our economy is probably about to tank, as we say here.
Yeah.
Um, do you are you feeling any change right now in the number of people reaching out to you? um, Residentially to work on their houses? Are you feeling any reaction to world events in terms of more business right now or less business right now? I mean, I know it's difficult to identify what exactly the thing is causing that, but I sometimes feel that when the world gets really scary and unreliable, people like change the color in my home or change something in my home. It's a little bit of escapism. It's a way to get away from the world's problems and
Mm.
concentrate on making your home more fulfilling in every way, exciting and tranquil and everything. It's a refuge. And I just wondered if you were seeing a different amount of business right now.
Wow. Well, right now in Mexico, in general, I mean Mexico City and all around Mexico, um, I mean Mexico is getting pretty popular and pretty trendy. So
Yes.
right now we're having more commercial projects,
Hmm.
but talking about homes, I think this happened to me since lockdown. As we're
Okay.
saying, like I think since lockdown and now still happening with, I mean, the war, a lot of sad things in the news and other.
Yep.
But I think for people since lockdown got more aware of the your inner place, your home help you,
Hmm.
because it's like your your happy place or your hidden place. You can
Right. Your
your
refuge. Yeah.
refuge.
That's,
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
I think since lockdown, this refugee place like change a lot. So totally, I think, and also I mean San Miguel, it's a refugee too. A lot of people
Hmm.
actually, because it's an international place. The when the things that happen in US impacts this little town so much.
Uh-huh.
So, for
Yep.
example, a lot of people that are not agree with the administration or things like that move to San Miguel,
Mhm.
or say,
Uh-huh. Yeah, oh,
or
yeah.
say like, I will spend more time in my San Miguel place or things like that. So, really change
Yeah.
this.
Mhm.
And also, I love the freedom of color that people experiment here. Because,
Mhm.
for example, in 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 other rich neighbors from all around the country, people have these ideas like like good taste have to be
Right.
beige or have to be grayish
Right.
or gray.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a stigma to very colorful still. Yeah.
Stigma. Yeah. But in San Miguel de Allende, not. San Miguel de Allende, it's like, no, the trend in San Miguel de Allende
Mhm.
is being colorful. And actually, for example, in downtown, they have a certain color palette. You couldn't paint other colors.
Mhm. I saw that.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
amazing. And yeah, that push people to respect color.
Uh-huh. And embrace color interior as well as
Exactly.
exterior. Yeah, absolutely. That's so interesting. Just a couple of more questions just about how you use color. Um, we're looking at our two
Uh-huh.
rooms. This is my home office. That's your office. Um, I am about to paint my ceiling, not green, but another color, a sort of rose color. But generally here, ceiling, I have to fight to not have white
Yeah.
ceilings. I'm looking at your room, orange walls, orange ceilings. So there's my question to you. How often do you, again in residences, paint the ceiling the same color as the walls or another bold color as opposed to white or off white? I bet there's no white in any of your
No.
places. No.
Yeah, actually, um never say never, but I never put the ceiling white or neutral.
Well, it's not just about the fact it's white.
Yeah.
It's about with color on your walls and white on your ceiling, you're adding immediate contrast. And you're adding contrast in a place that you may not want. Like why draw attention to your ceiling? You know, but there's the contrast. So, um do you often paint your ceilings a different color than the walls or do you pretty much keep them the same most often?
Yeah, I think I look I'm looking for an immersive.
Mhm.
So I like when the ceiling and the walls are similar or um similar colors or harmony colors or different swatches but the same color, but because to me it's more immersive because because I think when the ceiling is white, for example, it's like a disconnection.
Yes, okay, yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean for sure. I agree with you. What about a dark room? Now, San Miguel, you're in Mexico, there's sunshine all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of buildings have high ceilings, which is fantastic, have
Yeah.
rooms with high ceilings, but you must have encountered rooms that are dark, lacking natural light. So, no windows or few windows or something like that. Do you have a specific approach for
With dark rooms?
yeah, handling wall color for dark rooms?
Yeah, I think it's more difficult because actually right now I just changed my room color. Used to be like a orange, uh like a dark orange color,
Mhm.
but doesn't make sense to me and we need more light actually. And now we changed the color to pastel green.
Ah, I love green. Okay.
Yeah, it's like similar than your studio, but your studio it's a little more yellowish.
Yes, this is more yellow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
my new room it's more a little more blue,
Mhm.
but a balance.
Got it.
And this color bring us more light, but at the same time still have personality.
Mhm.
And also I think the match is super important.
What do you mean by that? What kind of match?
The way you combine colors,
Mhm.
because for example in my room right now the color could be a little childish.
Okay.
So we mix with just sexy colors.
Okay.
Like, I mean, the bed is burgundy all the blankets and all the and the sheets are brown. Well, right now the brown is the thing of the world, is a trendy colors. But also we have red night tables, red lampshades. So these super sexy colors that help us to don't have a childish room. This is super important because for me, for example, right now my home, my living room is orange, but it's super important how you balance these colors.
It's all about combining. Yeah.
So, okay, you need other cold colors to make a balance. But usually I think I love contrast. Also in my life, I think I am
Mhm.
a extreme person, and I like the contrast, and I like how the colors, the combination of colors
Okay.
change the color itself, the shade itself. It's like Joseph Albers,
Uh-huh.
his work. How, I mean, they are like squares, but how color change depends
Mhm.
the color the other swatch is next
Right.
to it.
Right.
And I truly believe in this. So I think in interior design you have to analyze or being aware of the big
Of
picture,
course. Yep.
because it's like, okay, maybe this wall doesn't make sense to you, but with the furniture, with the rugs, with the curtain, I mean, with the big picture will make sense.
Absolutely. Analyze everything. No color can be evaluated in isolation. It's always about what it's next to, for sure. Maya, this has been so much fun.
Thank you. No, and I'm super thankful, and I really enjoy and love to talk with people that love color as much as I am and see color with special eyes and this passion. So it was amazing to talk to you about color.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.